Hola! For this lesson, we're going to be talking about the imperfecto. This is one of your past tenses. And I know that you've already learned the preterite, so for right now, I want you to forget about that while we're focusing on these conjugations. Okay, we're just going to start with the endings for regular AR and then ER and IR verbs. Pretty simple here. For the yo form, we have aba, to form, abas. Usted is aba. Nosotros, habamos. Vosotros, habáis. And ellos y ustedes, haban. What you're going to notice is that we have a couple that repeat themselves a little bit. So the yo form and the usted form are both aba, okay? And when you're using them, context is going to let you know which one to use, or which one it is when you're reading. So for a verb like hablar, we're going to drop the AR, and then we add our correct ending. So in this case, we have yo, hablaba, which is going to sound a little funny for some of them. Okay, ER and IR are the same. We have ia, ias, ia, íamos, iais, and ian. Okay, so please note that the accent on all of them is on the I. So if we were going to do ella, comer, so we drop the ER at our ending, ella comía. So pretty simple, just some extra conjugations for you guys to remember. Okay, our first irregular verb. There are only 3 in the imperfect, which makes it one of the easiest tenses to remember. Iba, ibas, iba. Íbamos. Ibais. Iban. Make sure you pause it. If you need more time, we're going to put up the next verb. Okay, we have the verb ser, to be. Era, eras, era. Éramos, erais, eran. Pause it if you need more time. Okay, finalmente, ver, to see. Veía, veías, veía, veíamos, veíais, veían. Okay, once again, you'll see the accents on all of the I's here. And also, notice that the yo and the usted form for all of these verbs in the imperfect are identical. And pause it if you need more time. Okay, now that you've gotten some practice with conjugating these verbs, we need to figure out when we use them. So there are 2 past tenses in Spanish. The one that you learned in the last unit was the pretérito. Okay, in this unit we also have the imperfecto, which are the conjugations you just wrote down. So during this unit we're going to be focusing pretty much on the imperfecto. Doesn't mean that you're only going to see it, but you're mostly going to see it. We're going to be focusing in on it. So, a quick rundown of what the imperfect is used for. We're not going to go into too many details because these 2 things both mean the exact same thing in the past tense. However, in Spanish there are 2 past tenses, where in English we only have 1. And it's really important to recognize when we use one over the other one. So, in this unit we're focusing solely on the imperfecto, and then in the next unit we'll go into the why between the 2 of them. Okay, on your note sheet, you're going to see the description. For example, your first dot here is a repeated or habitual action. And then you're going to see a sentence in parentheses. I want you to write down the verb that I give you in parentheses. Remember, these are all going to be in the imperfect, so all from your conjugations above. So you use the imperfecto to talk about a repeated or a habitual action. For example, if I used to go to the zoo every single summer, Okay, I wouldn't say I went to the zoo, yo fui, like the preterite. I would actually say yo iba al zoológico cada verano. Okay, so this is because it's something that you do a lot over time. It's not just something that you did one time. So I used to go every single summer, so it's iba. Okay, the next reason that we use the imperfecto is to be descriptive or provide background details. For example, if I'm talking about the time, so if it was the time that I'm referring to in the past, I could say eran las 2 de la tarde. So here we have our imperfect verb. Okay, another reason that we use the imperfecto is for age. So if you're trying to say, like, I was a certain age, yo tenía 7 años. So I was 7, or I had 7 years. Next example is location. So if I'm talking about the park was close to the beach, its location hasn't changed. El parque estaba cerca de la playa. For appearance, if I was blonde and tall, yo era rubia y alta. Okay, the next one, what the weather was like. So if it was very hot, hacía mucho calor. And then the last part of the descriptive or background details, an emotional or mental state. So if I was happy, yo estaba feliz. Okay, the next part is a simultaneously occurring action. So, for example, 2 things are happening at the same time. So the students, maybe they were sleeping while the teacher was talking. I hope that's not what you guys are doing. Los estudiantes. So the students slept while the teacher talked. We have dormir, an IR verb, dormían. Mientras la maestra hablar, an air verb, hablaba. So these 2 things happened at the same time in the past. We use the imperfecto. Okay, the next one is actions that get interrupted. For example, your sentence here, we were talking while my mother entered. So nosotros hablábamos cuando mi mamá entró. So we were talking while my mother entered, or we talked while my mother entered. Okay, and the last part is actually the imperfect progressive. You guys learned the present progressive, which uses the present tense of the verb estar, and this is where we also take the second verb and we add ando or yendo. Same thing here, but instead of using estar in the present tense, we use it in the imperfecto. So if I wanted to say that I was talking, yo estaba hablando. So just like in the present tense, if I wanted to say I am talking, I would say estoy hablando. But in the past, to say I was talking, the pretérito, estaba hablando. Okay, más práctica.